Welcome back, guys. So in the last couple videos, I've covered basically the basics of how to do Fusion CAD and assemblies. Um, some of you will not be using Fusion as your primary CAD environment. You will be using SolidWorks, NX, Creo, pretty much whatever you're comfortable with, and that's fine. But there are some extra steps you guys need to do in order to import your file into Fusion for use in the center. And I'm going to be speeding through some of the concepts. So if you feel like you didn't really catch the concept, maybe watch those CAD videos so you get a better grasp of how Fusion CAD works. Now, whether you like Fusion or not, you will have to use it for the CAM process, and there is quite a big component of CAD involved in labs like the wood shop and metal shop in order to do CAM. So familiarity with CAD is an expectation, especially when you are importing files from outside. If you don't have that familiarity, maybe try redesigning your file within Fusion. So this file that you get, what the format in which you should export it from any environment, what I recommend is exporting it in the STEP or STP format. This is called a step file, and this is quite a common format to exchange files between different CAD environments. In my case, I won't be exporting it from any other CAD environment, but I will just be getting a drawing or a model from the internet, and I will source it in that specific format. So you guys can see that this is a torque limiting coupling on McMaster, and I have a couple of forms in which I can get the 3D model. I'm going to specifically go for step file, and I'm going to hit download. Interesting. I'm going to hit download, and there's my download. And now I'm going to import this into Fusion 360. So you move over to Fusion 360. If everyone remembers, Fusion 360 is a cloud environment. So what that means is you need to upload your designs in order to work on them. So we're going to upload our design. Select files, and I'm going to go to my downloads, torque limiting, and click open and click upload. So it takes a few seconds for this to get processed through. Give it some time. You can see the upload bar taking a while. Okay, while this is uploading, the McMaster example is just an example. If you really need McMaster parts, Fusion actually has built-in support for importing McMaster parts. So this, my use of McMaster car is to illustrate how you would import any step file. But if you specifically want McMaster, you can usually get it through this plugin. But it's done uploading, so I'm going to open it up. Now, a lot of students make the mistake of assuming that this file is good to go, and it's not good to go. So one way to figure out why it's not good to go is to compare it to a file created in Fusion. So what I want you guys to do is try and explore what are the differences. So if you look here and here, the first difference you're going to see is there's no timeline. And the reason there is no timeline is because if you come over here, this is currently in what we call direct modeling mode. So direct modeling is the concept of modeling without a timeline, without the ability to go back and fix mistakes. Think about this. So most of the people using the center, actually all of the people using the center are students. A lot of them are new to CAD. So running the environment in a fashion where it's direct modeling and you can't go back and fix mistakes is not really the best approach, because if you make a single mistake, now you have no ability to backtrace and fix it. So the first thing you really want to do is switch from direct modeling to parametric modeling. And the way you do that is you right click and click on Capture Design History. and that immediately switches this over from direct modeling back into timeline-based parametric modeling, which is what we want you to do. So the timeline is back and the part is here. Now in the timeline here, you can see that there were a bunch of steps. So one thing that you just have to accept is, even though we have the timeline enabled, we won't be able to access features in the past when before we imported the file. The only features we will be able to access are the features that we add on top of our current model. So if I added an extra hole, maybe here, and I know that that's not a good location for a hole, I can access that feature now, but I can't access any features in the past. So I'm going to get rid of that hole because that was just for illustration. Now the next thing you might have to deal with, and this depends on what is the file that you imported in, that you could have imported two things, either a part, or what Fusion calls components, or a assembly composed of many parts. Now in this case, I'm unlucky. I imported something composed of many parts. So that's not really helpful. That means that I have more work to do. Now if you just had one part, and I can isolate something to show you what that means. So there's just this washer here. You don't have to worry about this step, but if you have multiple parts, you should worry about this step. So I'm going to come back and unisolate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to convert this component file into an assembly file. So this is a quick fix. So body 1, create component from bodies. And now you will see that I have a component 1 and I have converted this file type into an assembly. But I still have a lot of bodies to go through. Now you could do this one at a time, but I'm going to show you how to do this quickly. You click on the top, press and hold shift, click on the bottom. That selects everything from top to bottom. Right click, create components from bodies. And I'm going to click OK. And now you can see that there are no longer any bodies, and the bodies are all nested within their own respective components. Now you could go around and label all these components correctly to make it easier for you. The next thing I want you to understand is these are components with no joints between them, so they can fly around all over the place. Can you guys see that? So they are not really jointed together. Now, if you wanted, you could do joint between one component and the other component, then the next component, then the next component, and then the next component. And that can get really tricky and quite tedious. So I'm going to show you another shortcut. If you know that all the components have to do is stick together, you can do this. Go to assemblies, click on rigid group, and start component 1, scroll down, component 41 while holding shift. And what this is effectively doing is saying is all these components where they currently are is the way they are jointed together rigidly. So if I click OK, what you will see is a new joint has been created called rigid group. And now if I try to take things apart, they don't fly apart. It's still not joined to the assembly, but each individual piece of this coupling is attached to each other. So the one more joint that I would do is do a joint between the bottom of this part and the origin of this assembly. And I click OK. And I like my models looking clean. And now this doesn't fly around. And I have effectively converted an imported file into a format and standard that is going to be useful for my CAD CAM work in the center. So that's it for this video. Again, please make sure you do this because the problems you will face will not prop up for a while and will make you have to redo a lot of work. So make sure this is the format everything is in, and that's when your part has been properly imported. So see you guys on the next one.